I always knew, I always knew it was true. I always knew, yeah, yeah. I always knew that I was gonna be a rich nigga. I always knew that I would have to pull the trigger. I always knew that I would have to die for the camp. I already knew that I would have to say, goddamn, I love my parents always. I don't care about y'all know that I wasn't with spraying. I will pull out my AK and I'm not lying to your face. I will tell you straight up, got the lean in my cup, cause I'm not lying, bruh. Always knew that I would make meals in the future, yeah. Always knew that I would get a record deal and sell it here. Always knew that I would step up on the beat and mess it up. Always knew that I would sometimes pull the lean up in my cup. Always knew that I would be down for my family. Always knew that I would come in with the rhyme, yeah. Always knew that I would probably go and commit a crime, yeah. Always knew that I would go to prison, do some time, yeah. Always knew, always knew, yeah. Always knew, I always knew, always knew, yeah. Always knew. I always knew that I was gon' have to die for the fam. I always knew that I was gon' have to do something for the grit. I always knew that I was gonna have to make 100 mil. I always knew that I was gon' have to go out and go kill. I always knew that I was gon' have to pull the trigger. I always knew that I was gon' have to find a figure. I always knew that I was gon' have to be a boss. Hey, I always knew that I was gon' have to call the shots to the coast. I always knew that I was gon' be down in a ride. I always knew that I was gon' have a gun on by my side. I always knew that I was gon' drive around on new Rolls Royce. I always knew that I was gon' be in that Bentley truck. I always knew that I was gon' pull up in the Porsche. I always knew that I was gon' do it for my clothes. I always pull up in the Rolls. I always knew that I was gon' be down for anyone. I always knew, yeah. Always knew, ooh, always knew, yeah. Always knew, yeah. Always knew, yeah. I said I always knew, 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 always knew. Always knew that I was gon' have to buy a Bentley. Always knew that I was gon' have to paint that green stuff. Always knew that I was gon' have to go and sell drugs. Always knew that I was gon' have to be a millionaire. Always knew that my kid was gon' want about $100. Always knew that I was gon' have to pour the lean my cup. Always knew that I was gon' get married and have some kids. Always knew that I was gon' be the family that rolled it in. Always knew, I always knew how much that I really had loved you. I just didn't find a way to fucking tell you, but now I do, and I'ma do it with my heart. Always knew, hey, always knew that you was gon' be my boo. Put a lean up in you. Always knew that I was gon' make it here. Always knew I was gon' be on the tier. Always knew that I was gon' be behind the scene. Always knew that I was gon' be counting green. Always knew that I was gon' be acting like a man. Always knew that I was gon' find the right place to stay. I always knew that I was gon' make a million. I always knew that I was gon' be doing it for the film, yeah. I always knew that I was gon' sit back in my Lambo. I always knew that I was gon' be like I am not a fool. I always knew that I was gon' say I meant that day love. I always knew that I was gon' take care of engagement the deal. I always knew that I was gon' do something that I should have done. I always knew.